Hey, the vibes are slipping. I think it's time to bring out the Velveeta shells and cheese. The holidays are a time to go all in on indulgence. Headline your meals with the rich, creamy meltiness of Velveeta shells and cheese and satisfy your holiday cravings like no other. Bring that main course energy to your side dish. Celebrate extra with Velveeta these holidays.
With new, gentler scented Clorox disinfecting wipes, clean finally smells as good as it feels on everything from lamps to ceiling fans, even on your kid's toy shark. Oh, ouch. Clorox disinfecting wipes, now available in crisp lemon. Find it on Amazon. Clorox, clean feels good.
Meet the computer you can talk to. With Copilot on Windows, working, creating, and collaborating is as easy as talking. Got writer's block? Share your screen with Copilot Vision to help spark inspiration, and use Copilot Voice to have a conversation and brainstorm ideas. Or maybe you need some tech help. With Copilot Vision, Copilot sees what you see. Let Copilot talk you through step-by-step guidance so you can master new apps, games, and skills faster. Try now at windows.com/Copilot.
You're listening to the Animation Addicts Podcast, episode 358, Wicked for Good. I want a blue horse. Welcome to the Animation Addicts Podcast with the Rotoscopers, the #1 place to get your animation fix with animation addicts just like you. Each episode, we dive into the wonderful world of animation featuring Disney, DreamWorks, Pixar, and everything in between. From hilarious discussions and movie reviews to interviews with industry insiders, this show's mission is to brighten your day through our love of animation. So hop on your nerdy couch, grab some snacks, and get ready to hang out with your animation besties because it's time to dive into today's episode. Hey there, animation addicts. I'm Morgan Stradling.
And I'm Chelsea Robson.
And Chelsea, are you a Glinda or an Elphaba?
Oh, I'm absolutely a Glinda. Absolutely. I'm watching this show and I'm just like, I want to live at her house. And every little bit of all of the flowers and the trees inside of her house, I'm like, I literally pinned you on Pinterest yesterday.
Chelsea the Good Witch.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not as drawn to the pink and the frills and the fluff and the popular. So I guess just by default, I guess I am Elphaba. I am the Wicked Witch of the West.
You're my Elphaba.
Not that I don't appreciate those things, but you already took the pink. So,
and I always try to make it pink. And you always try to make it blue.
Make it blue. That's true. That's true. I do always try to make it blue. It is the far superior version of the dress. With that, we are going to be reviewing a really fun movie today. So we did this last year, and it was one of our car sessions, which I always love.
Oh, those were good times.
We get out of the theater, and then we just have our microphones, and we straight out of the theater record our thoughts. And Chelsea is away, so that is not able to happen. But she did just get out of the theater.
I did.
So we will talk about that.
I literally got out. I went to Costco to pick up some dog food, and then I came here and got on.
Priorities.
She would have been mad.
So, with that, we are going to dive into the world of Wicked for Good.
The Who's Down in Who Newville were making their list, but some didn't know Walmart has the best brands for their gifts.
What about toys? Do they have brands kids have been wanting all year?
Yep, Barbie, Tony's, and Lego. Gifts that will make them all cheer.
Do you mean they have all the brands I adore?
They have Nintendo, Nespresso, Apple, and more.
What about...
So the Who answered questions from friends till they were blue. Each one listened and shouted, from Walmart? Who knew? Shop gifts from top brands for everyone on your list in the Walmart app.
'Tis the season for all your holiday favorites, like A Very Jonas Christmas Movie and Home Alone on Disney+.
Did I burn down the tree? I don't think so.
Then Hulu has National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
For all
plan for a very big Christmas treat.
All of these and more streaming this holiday season. And right now, save big with our special Black Friday offer. Bundle Disney Plus and Hulu for just $4.99 a month for 1 year. Savings compared to current regular monthly price. Ends 12/1. Offer for ad-supported Disney Plus Hulu bundle only. Then $12.99 a month or then current regular monthly price. 18 plus terms apply.
No one should have to choose between their own safety and their pets. But nearly half of domestic abuse survivors delay leaving because they can't bring their pets with them. Purina is helping to create more pet-friendly domestic violence shelters through the Purple Leash Project, so survivors and their pets can escape and heal together. Visit Purina.com/purple to learn more.
The wickedly talented Adele Dazeem.
That is a deep cut.
Another funny thing is at the end, when I was leaving, I took a picture of my receipt to send to you.
Yes.
And did you get my email?
I haven't checked anything computer.
Okay, as I'm stepping out and I have it in my hand and I take my phone and I'm pointing it down and I see my shoes and I just bought these shoes and they're bright red and I'm like, it's not ruby slippers. They're more like tomato red slippers, but I felt like it was serendipitous.
I love it.
And then as I was leaving, okay, you saw this. Did you see it? What day did you see this? That it came out?
Saw this last Tuesday at a press screening.
Oh, at a press screening. Okay, so I went to, everything is open. And so you have a lot of people that were showing up dressed for the occasion. And I appreciated that. You had a lot of people that were dressed up in the Wicked Witch garb. You had some girls walking in with crowns on and pinkness. And I was like, I appreciate this whole experience. And it's a Monday.
On a random Monday afternoon.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
This movie has been hitting gold, Jerry. Gold.
All right. Well, we will talk about it. So let's get started, shall we? So first and foremost, let's get some basic information out of the way. The movie is called Wicked for Good. The director is John M. Chu. Screenplay by Winnie Holzman and Dana Fox. Winnie Holzman is the writer of the original Broadway book it's based on. So she's very much involved. Then obviously we know that it's based on the play Wicked by Stephen Schwartz, the book Wicked by Winnie Holzman, and of course the original from the 90s Wicked by Gregory Maguire. We'll talk about all this. And music by John Powell and Stephen Schwartz. It was released, should have led with this, but November 21st, 2025. It has a budget of $150 million, and so far the worldwide box office is $223 million.
They've done well.
Yeah, so this was expected. How much did it do opening weekend? I don't know if we have that.
I do have it on the page.
Opening this was right on track. I think they were saying it was going to do around 150 million, and that's ended up what it ended up doing. So very, very popular. No pun intended. But this is expected. So let's reset the stage from part 1 to part 2. So part 1 was, everyone was really excited for this. We saw this last year. Now you might be saying, Morgan, what are you doing? This isn't animated. Too bad, so sad. Okay, we're going to do it. every once in a while, we can veer off into non-animated films. And this one, since we did part 1, I felt that it was appropriate to go back to this wicked green well and do part 2. To see how we feel about it, right? So the interesting thing, in just like me leading off with this, the thing that I find interesting, and a lot of people agree, is that Act 1 of the play is significantly stronger than Act 2. And so what you end up doing is when you split these off, you are really having an uphill battle, in my mind, for this part 2 of a film when you've already expanded part 1 so much. And part 2, I mean, the film kind of, the play feels like 2/3 of a story is Act 1 and 1/3 of a story, the climax and kind of the resolution, and they kind of rush through everything, is Act 2. So with that in mind, where do you want to go with this? I have so many thoughts.
I need a blue horse.
I thought it was a blue horse, and then there was a different scene and it looked black. And I was like, maybe I just imagined that, but I'm pretty sure it was blue.
No. It was blue. And every time it came out and showed up, I was like, I need that horse. Okay, so this movie, for me, I feel like I walked in, I haven't seen the first one since I saw it last year. So like I didn't, try to do a back-to-back again.
You didn't do the double feature.
I didn't do the double feature, but I've seen the play. I remember the movie. And so I'm like, okay, we're walking into this. And so I walk in and I feel like, first off, you're just... definitely, if you didn't see the first one, you're going to be really lost. And so I definitely would recommend watching the first one for sure. But as you mentioned in the play, you have certain key songs, key moments that you're waiting for. And they were all here. But they also did add quite a bit more in order to pad it out to be 137 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't a fan of that. You're gonna get something that's not quite as punchy as what the play got or had for me, but I feel like there were so many. All of the songs that and that are good are still good.
Mm-hmm.
Ariana Grande, Cynthia Erivo are amazing vocalists and deserve like all the credit for being amazing vocalists, because I couldn't say that there was anything that I was, nitpicky on them for their vocals. Like, they're amazing. So I really liked that.
Part one, going back to that, I think straight out of the theater, I was a little disappointed. Obviously, still I gave it 3.5 stars, which I think was low for most people. Maybe now at this point, maybe I bump it up to a 4. I don't know, but I'm still kind of confident in my 3.5. But so here's what I wrote a review. I'll include a link in the show notes, but I mean, it basically is what we're talking about today. But the way that I saw this was, if you liked part 1, you're going to like part 2.
I agree.
And if you didn't like part 1, then you're not going to like part 2.
Yeah.
And one of the many reasons, they shared a production. And so the things that work in part 1, for the most part, carry over into part 2. We're talking about the cast, the sets, the choreography, the music, like all the main things that they do. Just the look of the film, they're the same, from 1 to 2. So if you liked Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo in part 1, you're going to like them in part 2. If you didn't like them, then you're probably not going to like them in part, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I guess the only thing is that this is based on a play where part 1, act 1 of this play is so much better than part 2. It's where all the fun is. It's where all the fun characters are. There's these girls going to school. There's this rivalry. Like some of the most iconic songs are in part 1. Part 1, act 1. Okay, you know what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
And it's just really fun. Like I loved what they did in part 1 with expanding the school and showing us the school and more of this, rivalry that happens and how they become frenemies and then friends. And it's just a lot of fun. Like, it is just amazing. And you could really end the film on defying gravity. Off she goes. She becomes the Wicked Witch of the West. And if you didn't even do part 2, it's pretty satisfying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, wow, that's how you could like move straight into the Wizard of Oz and think, yeah, that's right.
And just accept it. Totally. Like, wow, that was a cool backstory for her.
Yeah.
But then this is where the weakness of the play comes in. And I love the play. I said this before, but I got to sit and count, but I've seen it I think 5 times. I don't know. Okay. I've seen it on Broadway. I've seen it on tour. I saw it in 2005. I've seen it like many eons ago over the years. It's just like I've kind of lost track. Basically, whenever it rolls into town, I see it. Although I didn't see it this past year when it came, because the movie had just came out and I was like, I'll let someone else see it.
Yeah.
But the play has this part 2 that's really in part 2 is where they start to shoehorn the Wizard of Oz aspects into the film. And it does it kind of clumsily. It's so quick and you miss it. And if you sit there and you're trying to think about like, wait, shouldn't the Tin Man and the Scarecrow know each other? And now they're
right,
gang. They appear in the forest out of nowhere and then just team up with Dorothy, and it falls apart. Okay, so you're not. shouldn't do that. But it is weaker. It is much weaker. So here we have this weaker act, and you're really having to build it up to make it something. And so this is where I think they had a really great opportunity, because, I mean, and you may totally disagree. You may think the second act of Wicked is perfect, fine, it's great. Like, this is coming from someone who loves Wicked. But I can understand that there's some weaknesses there, definitely. And just the fact that it's a play and it's Broadway, like, you kind of like give it a little leeway. But when you're on screen, I think the stakes are slightly higher, especially since visually you're able to see so much more. And now we have a whole entire movie dedicated to just this part. It's like, wow, here is your moment. Let's fix some of the things that might not have worked so well. That could be easy tweaks, you know? And they didn't really do that. And so that's kind of what was a bummer. So yeah, I can go into like what I thought those were, but there were some things that I did like. One that I think that worked but didn't work is there's so much more of a focus on Glinda and her role as this propaganda puppet of the wizard. You know, she knows the wizard's bad, but she just can't resist the popularity and the fame. And she's kind of doing what she has to do. And then we see all the other propaganda that they have towards the Wicked Witch and establishing that narrative for the people. And I felt like they really amped that up for Glinda's character a lot more than you see in the play. And I kind of liked that. And I wish they would have maybe punched it just like a little more, where she had internal struggles at some point about this. We don't really see that until the very end, where she just decides, oh, well, okay, now I'm going to turn on the wizard. Go away, you. You can't do this anymore. Off to jail you go, even though you're super powerful. And like,
right. That was the thing that I was like, I mean, she can bring cyclones. I don't know.
Bring a cyclone to make Glinda float away. Like that. Come on. She's like, no, as they take her away. Right. So again, these are like these little nitpick things that you're like, everything's fake. And so again, with like the fake propaganda of what's put out there with the bubble was like the big thing, and it was like very much an allegory for her, and you know, and then eventually it's like, oh wait, it's working, she can read the grimoire. And it was like almost there for that part, and I liked it. There was just it just didn't go all the way, but I appreciated what they did for that part.
Yeah, I think I can definitely see that. I do feel like she was a little more, I guess, I don't know. It's so hard to see anybody else other than Kristen Chenoweth in the part as Glinda. And so I just see her as being a little bit more, not as funny, not as fun.
Just because the script's not on this half is not the fun.
It's not.
School.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not her fault. It's just there's not a lot of fun happening in this. She tries.
There's not a lot of fun. But even, she cries a lot. And that's just what the end of this is it's a moment. It's the whole part of the play is to, you know, you've already gone through this whole moment with everybody, you know, you've experienced the highs and the lows, and now you are experiencing it with them. And this one, because you didn't, unless you're doing a double feature, you haven't experienced it with them directly. And so you are just kind of stepping into it, and you're like, oh yeah, that's what's happening. Oh yeah, that's what happened before. And so it's harder to really jump in with her. And so you end up, I don't know, there's just a lot of things that were just less punchy. You know, I like in the play that it's just because it is a little bit on the weaker side, they kind of like push through it a little bit faster. And so you don't notice it as much.
Right. You blink and you miss it, sort of thing.
You're just like, oh, okay. Yeah. Now we're getting back there. And even when in the play, when they do bring in, what is her name? The girl with the dog.
Piero? Oh, Dorothy.
I'm like,
Dorothy.
I'm like, I just see Toto, and I'm like, they really focused on Toto, and obviously not that you never see her from the front in the play either. So it's not about Dorothy; it's about the girl, you know, the other two girls. But you did see Toto quite a bit, and so anyway, I feel like even with those moments in the play, I just remember people laughing when when she's like yelling at her in the bottom of the thing, like, you're such a whiny baby, you know, and it's like, that was funny because it's like, oh, we understand, you know,
Yes.
but in the movie, you're just like, you're really mean. You don't have it doesn't have the same levity. Like, they really try to bring in more of the drama. And so it's hard to know what to feel in that way.
Yeah, they're definitely poking fun of it on the play and get away with it and have that lighter tone. Whereas here, not so much because they're trying to create a serious film.
Right. With all of the feels.
Yeah, so I felt like this version, it really ambles a lot. It doesn't, because it wasn't really ever meant to be a standalone thing. It's meant to be act 2 of a play, you know, and like a shorter version of that. You know, we got an hour compared to an hour and a half of the play, right? Or I'm not sure the exact runtime, but I believe it's something like that. And as I was watching this, I really felt, wow, this is going nowhere. There's just kind of like scene as they get to check off the different points of, hey, the Wicked Witch of the East and the Silver Slippers. And then we need, you know, Bach turning to the Tin Man. Now we got to do this. Now we do this. It's like check. And midway through, I was, you know, in one of those theaters that has loungers, and I was kind of leaning back. And then I just remember at one point, I just kind of like sat up and went cross-legged and kind of put my hand on my chin. And I was very conscious of what's going on.
Yeah.
Pick it up a little bit. And that's just because they had a whole movie to do this. So they were going to stretch it out as far as they could. You know, it's we said an hour, 37 minutes. So it's over 2 hours.
Yeah.
For something that never needed to be. And they didn't fill that time with things that really could have made it stand out and be different. So that was a struggle. So
oh, Hilton stay, your beds are soft and cozy. No lumpy couch, no stiff futon, no shower line at crack of dawn. Oh, Hilton stay, oh, Hilton stay.
When you want holiday comfort you can count on, it matters where you stay. Enjoy comfortable rooms and friendly service when you stay with Hilton instead. Save up to 25% this season when you book with Hilton. Hilton for the stay. Terms apply.
This episode is brought to you by Nature's Bounty. Nature's Bounty believes your body is brilliant, naturally designed to thrive, inside and out. For those always looking for new ways to support your health from head to heels, Nature's Bounty has a range of over 400 vitamins and supplements born from 50 years of trust and care. Nature's Bounty. It's in your nature. Visit naturesbounty.com to learn more.
I do want to point out the cinematography by Alice Brooks. There is that song with Glinda where she is singing about, she's walking through her closet.
The girl in the bubble?
Yes, the girl in the bubble. And it's one of the new ones. And the cinematography, how they like goes through different, it like melds your brain a little bit. And I appreciated it. They use a lot of fun with mirrors. And where you're looking at it from, you walk in from one way, you think you're looking at it, and then it backs up and you're now looking at it from a wholly different way. I liked that. I felt like that was in a song that wasn't that good, or at least wasn't that punchy, not catchy. They did a really good job of adding visual interest and keeping my attention in that way. And I appreciated them for that. So I guess Myron Kirstein, who was the editor, is also to give thanks for things like that. So good job on them. And that was one thing that I appreciated.
Can we talk about the songs?
Yeah. Let's talk about these songs.
Okay. So they write 2 new songs for this. And it is No Place Like Home. And then the other one is The Girl in the Bubble. And I had read that Cynthia Erivo took part in writing No Place Like Home, but then I just looked it up and it doesn't show her as a songwriter at all. Both of these are Stephen Schwartz.
I really don't think he would give over royalties on stuff like that.
No.
Like, the man does not need to.
They just didn't have the catchy, witty charm that Stephen Schwartz lyrics normally have. And I definitely noticed that because it just didn't feel like a Stephen Schwartz song. It just felt like, you know, kind of like in the Frozen winter short that they did where they couldn't bring in the Lopez's, and so they bring in like the new songwriting team. And I feel like even that did a better job of trying to replicate the Frozen aesthetic and style. And I think the reason is they just were downers of a song. Like, they weren't fun songs. Maybe those are significantly harder to do, and so they didn't want to have to. But Girl in the Bubble is very somber and melancholy, and No Place Like Home kind of is more of a slower song as well. And so there wasn't anything to really, like, you love, for example, For Good with Elphaba and Glinda singing because it's so powerful, and it's the ending of this friendship, you know, the culmination of it all, and it's like
words.
Everything being culminated. So we don't need it to be like funny and catchy and wordy like Popular is, or like some of these other songs earlier in the play. But because this is kind of a downer of a second half of the film, I felt like, man, we got Wonderful, which is in there. But it would have been nice if one of these newer songs maybe was a little, but like, where would you put it? Like, why tonally that wouldn't make sense with the film? You know, Glinda's struggling with this being a girl in the bubble and faking everything. And then Elphaba, he's really desiring, you know, this is like after they put a new scene in with her and the animals. And I did think that was a good thing, because in the second half of the play, it's the animals have just like kind of disappeared. Like, she was the champion of the critters. And, but like, we don't have time to talk about it. Don't worry about it. So I liked that they brought them back and we were able to see them kind of escaping, because otherwise they were going to be completely just, you know, turned into these savage beasts.
Right.
You know, but they didn't work, and it was a bummer. I couldn't even sing you one-liner lyric or tune.
No, I'm not too bad at that. I don't remember it at all. And so it's just, it was like both of them were kind of, as my brother Randy would say, snooze fest. And I'm like, that sounds like those. And it was both of the times I was like, I don't remember these songs. It kind of felt like they were, if they were part of the original songs at some point, then it was like they should have stayed on the cutting room floor kind of thing.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like, you know, some of the extra songs that are added into like the Beauty and the Beast Broadway, where some of those are even more iconic. They're not more iconic than the ones from but they're just so great. Right? Or like some of the Lion King songs. Like, I don't know the history of them, but they don't feel like they were cutting room floor type of songs, because I feel like they would have had a little bit more huzzah, punch, kick, emotion. I felt like it was just, hey, we need to pad the time, and hey, it would be really great if we could get an original song nomination for these.
That happens. And with the amount of like it's such an easy award to get.
Not this year, but yes, typically.
Well, typically, as far as like, there aren't as many big blockbusters that have any songs at all. So, you know, you're getting it's like quote unquote easier in that regard. And it just feels like I didn't need any of them. And I didn't feel like they added, other than, like I said, for the Girl in the Bubble, the cinematography in that one was very good.
I loved the set on that one. So one thing that Wicked has done really well is their physical sets are just phenomenal. And that felt straight out of the golden age, you know, of Hollywood.
Yeah.
And so perfect, so beautiful. Just love looking at it. And it felt like an extension of the sets from part one, which we got a lot of. But although at the same time in this film, there were a lot of sets that were duds. I felt that Elphaba's like forest dwelling, like what, I don't know what that was supposed to be.
Her little treehouse.
There wasn't anything visually cool about it to really look at. It was just kind of like,
it wasn't even a cottage in the glen.
No, it wasn't. It was just lame. And then the big bummer was when they sang For Good, the castle that they're at. There's just nothing to look at there. It's just them. And again, when you're on stage, there's so much more forgiveness that you have because you know the limitations. And even though there are some productions that can just go all out, on the flip side, you can see like a 10th anniversary version of any of these, and it's just the two people standing up there singing, and you're like totally captivated and in the moment, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was sitting there and I'm like, what? Like, this is the ugliest thing. I get it. It's supposed to be like an ugly rundown castle, but
Yeah, his extra castle that nobody lives at for a good reason.
yeah, there's really cool, ugly rundown castles.
Yeah.
So, that was kind of a bummer. So, what about, okay, should we talk about some other songs? We'll just go through the songs really quickly just to hit it. Every Day More Wicked. That's kind of like the opening number. Thank goodness I couldn't be happier. I love that song. I think that's great. And it really is showing kind of the breaks in the situation.
Yeah.
We're setting up Fiero. There's the No Place Like Home, The Wicked Witch of the East. I really want to talk about Nessa Rose and everything happens there. So we'll hold off on that.
Yeah.
Wonderful with the Wizard.
That's always a winner.
Jeff Goldblum. Again, so the critiques that I still have are, they carry over from the first to the second movie, which is Jeff Goldblum, Michelle Yeoh, and Nessa Rose cannot sing. And it's not like, oh,
Nessa Rose isn't bad.
Was okay, but she not really. And it wasn't like, oh, they just had songs in the first one. Like, don't worry about it. They don't have big roles in the second, but they do. And it really was, he was better than earlier, but anytime Michelle Yeoh sang, it was like, oh my gosh. Can we just bring back overdubbing, please? And the funny thing is, she even told the director, I don't sing. I can't sing. Why are you talking to me about this? And he still cast her. So that's on him. Okay. And it's like, I've heard nobody say, like, she's fine. Like, everyone's like, no, this is not.
Right.
This was not good. I'm not that girl. That's with Glinda. Oh, and with Wonderful, one of the things that they added was Glinda is singing where normally she doesn't sing in this. She's not around, but they're broadening her character in the second part to give her a little bit more to do. And I just thought that was an interesting way because she's trying to convince Elphaba.
Yeah.
Stick around with the wizard and like, why don't you just play along? Like, work in the system, not out of the system. And I thought that was an interesting interpretation. And it detracted from Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
Singing. He's really great as an actor.
Yeah.
I really liked him generally in the role. Just the singing part, not so much.
He wasn't as bad as Michelle Yeoh, though.
Oh, no. No. The award for the worst.
I felt like for him, it was just kind of like, yeah, you're a character actor kind of thing. And I'm not really looking at you for the vocals.
It wasn't so offensive.
Yeah.
As long as you're mine, again, in the play, everything's so simple. It's just him and her singing right in front of each other as if, I can't believe you are here. You can't get out of my sight.
Yeah.
And they just sit there. There's no movement. There's no dancing. They just stand. They just kind of like are sitting there. They're singing a song. And this one had very kind of like sensual, sexual undertones.
Yeah. I mean, the original does too, but not like this. The girl next to me was like really enjoying this, by the way. And I was like, I mean, I have to say, like,
that could be interpreted such a bad way.
You can definitely go along with that. Jonathan Bailey, who is playing Prince Fiero, like, he does look very good looking in this whole thing. And I was like, I agree that this man is very good looking. It's just disappointing for myself that he's also gay. So it's just like, it's always the way. It's whatever. But he's just going for it. And like, this girl, like, after the whole song was done, she goes to her friend, she's like, oh my gosh. So it was like, oh, okay, you got really into that. But he was very good looking. I have to agree that in this movie there was not a moment where I felt like you're somebody that I don't need to look, or I don't want to look at. Like, I like looking at you. So good job for that.
Bring on the Fiero, yes.
Bring on the Fiero. Yeah. So yeah, it was also kind of weird though that like the little outfit that she like takes off her cloak. And then she goes into this like it almost looks like a bodysuit. And
yes, it's like a one-piece lingerie sort of thing, but they try to hide it.
Yeah.
Because she immediately puts on the granny sweater, the big cardigan. Yes. Like, so they're intentionally making this a lot more risque.
Yes.
Just that alone. I'm like, really? This is what you wear underneath that big coat? Okay. Catwoman. Yeah, and then they finally get together, and they float over to the bed.
Right.
And then start slowly removing pieces of each other's clothing, a sleeve here, a little bit here. So, people were asking me, because a lot of parents, because of just the nature of animated films and whatnot, ask my reviews for films. Like, is this good to take your family to or whatnot? And I heard a different influencer who was like, oh yeah, it was like perfectly fine. Like, I'll take my girls to see it. And her girls were little, like 6 and 8.
Oh gosh.
And I'm just like, And she's like, but don't take my word for it. Obviously, like, make your own decision. And which is fine. Like, everyone can make their own decision. But I was like, I won't be taking my kids to this. Like, yes. Oh, and they wake up in bed together.
Right.
With him shirtless. And I'm like, most kids that probably go completely over their head. And as an adult, like, you're an adult, you get it, whatever. But the fact that it was a PG rating and this like somehow slipped in, I'm like, normally they're pretty, like, nowadays they're pretty strict about the PG-13. It's like hard to get PG almost half the time. I just wouldn't. I'm not going to take my kids. Like,
or more, they are leaning into 13. Like, they want to get the 13.
Oh yeah, they want the 13. Yeah, I think they really wanted, because it was so much promoted as a family film in a way, like not explicitly, but they weren't not trying to make families go see it. It's happy witches and stuff like that. And I know tons of people who that's like their family movie, the Thanksgiving movie. So yeah, it is a little bit of a tone shift. I just told people, like, and people were like, oh no, I'm so bummed. And I just said, you know what? It's a long movie. Just take your kids to the bathroom during that scene. If that's, going to be an issue. So again, I'm not being a prude about it. I'm just saying, like, for parents, there's different lines for different parents and different families and different ages. So that was there.
You know what? You can be a prude. I don't mind. It's fine.
It didn't work for me personally. I didn't buy it. Like, people were saying, oh my gosh, their chemistry was so good. I don't love Cynthia Erivo in this role. I don't think she's very good as Elphaba. I think she is phenomenal as a singer.
Yes.
She is, holy cow. I've said this before. She does a version of When You Wish Upon a Star that is just so good. She's a Broadway superstar for a reason, right?
Yeah.
But I just think her performance as Elphaba is so muted and melancholy and almost deadpan. Like, I don't get a lot of emotion from her. And I think Elphaba can be very expressive. And
yeah, I agree.
And so then when it comes to As Long As You're Mine, and I'm supposed to believe this relationship, I just never bought that he was into her. Like, I know they're really trying to sell it, but I'm like, what else is there? There's nothing that's really enticing to him.
What else is there?
That they displayed well enough on screen for me. And most of this happens in
most of it happened in the first movie. Yeah, in the first movie. So
and it didn't work for me then. And then we're just supposed to, like, assume he's into her in part 2 because they don't really interact much. And then it just hops into this scene,
Yeah. I didn't get taken out of the film at that for that reason. It did take me out, just like the whole granny sweater and thing. It was just kind of like
interesting choices on a production that has fabulous costumes.
Yeah.
Needs to be nominated.
And I understand they're trying to soften her because the entire time she's wearing this stark, very menacing style, I would say, like trying to be more on the scary side, or not necessarily scary, but definitely on the more coarse side. And so trying to soften her up, and by putting her in the soft cardigan. And I love a good cardigan, don't get me wrong, but it was just a little odd. And also the colors of that scene were, anytime that she's in it, it's like everything is all shades of the same. And so, and while completely well, I don't know. I was going to say it's the complete opposite when you're looking at Glinda, but it's kind of all the shades of the same. So I guess
everything in Glinda world is pink. Everything in Elphaba world is green.
I get it. But maybe that's just my own biases coming out of being like, I just am really drawn to this. So I always focus over here. But it was just darker too. Like the whole color scheme, anytime they see her, is on the green darker side. So I was very into the actual glow and the feel of the cinematography in this film, more so than I normally am in most live action films. So I guess that's something as a comment on the whole film in general. I really appreciated the cinematography.
So then we have No Good Deed, Elphaba's song, March of the Witch Hunters, The Girl in the Bubble, which we already talked about, For Good, which is the big kind of ending number with Elphaba and Glinda.
Yeah, go back a couple to what was the middle, not The Girl in the Bubble, but there was another song that Glinda sings.
I'm Not That Girl, which is before As Long As You're Mine.
I think it was that song, and she finished, and I wanted to applaud. Like, she was just, her vocals were just so good. And I like, there were moments of this song, like every song that you love in the original play is something that you're going to love in this. And I appreciated that, because it's like, you definitely don't want to go into a story or musical so beloved as Wicked and be like, you failed me on the best songs in this. And they do not fail you at all. And even the songs that weren't as memorable, the vocals were still spot on. Like, you can't complain about anything when it comes to that. Yeah.
For Good, we kind of talked about that. Obviously, great duet, great all around, except for the visuals really kind of muddy it, make it not as, I don't know. I just didn't, people are like, oh my gosh, the chemistry of Elphaba and Glinda, of Cynthia and Ariana will never be matched. They are so good together. And I don't know. I never bought these two as a pair. And I feel like I'm the only one who's just didn't, like I said, if you didn't listen to my part 1, I just think Cynthia Erivo's really miscast as Elphaba. And I think she's too old for the role.
I mean, they all are, though.
It's not as big of a deal in part 2 because years have passed.
And they're not in school anymore.
Yeah, but for part 1, where you're really trying, like this is our university years. It's just, I don't buy it as much. And she's just really somber. Like, singing wise, yes, you got it, girl. Amazing. But just her interpretation of it, don't love it. And then Ariana, holy cow. Ariana is a master. She can impersonate basically anyone. Like, she could have totally gone into this and just...
She could have done both roles.
She could have done a Kristen Chenoweth.
Yeah.
Just like total copy of Kristen Chenoweth. But she really did make it her own. But at the same... And she can sing like no other. So that's never a problem. But my only thing is, I always kind of felt like she was cosplaying Glinda. Like, she was never actually Glinda.
Yeah.
This was someone just being really over the top Glinda. I can't even explain it. It's just such a weird version of Glinda. Like, I never believed this was a real person.
Yeah.
And so then you combine the two, and I'm like, I just don't buy these two, because like I don't really, I have underlying issues with the two girls. So going back to For Good, just at the very end, you're supposed to believe that this friendship that these girls have cultivated over the years has left them both for the better. I feel like it's so much more believable in the play than it is in the movie.
Yeah. I can see that.
They kind of interacted in the second half, in this version, part 2. But I don't feel like their friendship blossomed or like went to a different level for that song to like, wow, yes, this is so true. I don't know. That's just me. Anyways, so those are the songs. When they're good, they're good.
When they're good, they're really good.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Let's talk about the Wicked Witch of the East.
Oh, Nessa. Yes. Okay, so Nessa Rose, it didn't really do a good job of making me see that she was more and more on the like super controlling side. It just kind of like, act like this. And so she kind of did, but it's I don't know,
I felt the opposite.
Really? Okay.
I felt like this version did her a lot more justice on seeing the path of how she became evil or got that title, where we see, first off, she's keeping Bach here, and then Bach decides he leaves, and this really infuriates her. And she uses her power as governor to restrict his movements across the land,
which is really quite.
Yes, I felt that. I felt that was a really powerful scene. And then we flip back, and now he's basically a prisoner to her, and so you see this progression of her controlling attitude. And, now she has this power because of her father, and how she's just using it for evil.
Mhm.
And I really liked it. And so I felt like this version of the Wicked Witch of the East, I really felt, wow, she's wicked. Like she is turning that way. But the one thing that didn't work was they went so far out of their way to cast somebody who was akin to Nessa Rose, meaning in a wheelchair,
Right.
you know? And I think for that reason, she isn't as strong of a singer as if they just would have brought in the search. Okay. But
Mhm.
that's fine. There were much worse singers in this one.
Right. As discussed.
Yes. And so, but then they paint themselves in this corner where in the play, Elphaba comes and she gives her the ability to walk with the silver slippers. But in this one, they can't do that because
Right.
why would someone in a wheelchair want the ability to walk? Why would we do that? And so they painted themselves in this little ableism corner. And so instead of making her walk as an actress, which like you play parts, you do things, they're so intent on like, no, it's not bad you as a person that you can't walk. So therefore we have to change the entire character. Or, you know, it wasn't a huge deal, but I just thought this was funny. So instead she makes her fly. And I'm like, this doesn't do anything.
It also makes
it doesn't help Nessa in any way. It's not like she can just fly. It's not
right.
It doesn't even seem like a version of flying where she can control the flying. You know? It's
Yeah. And it also lessens the impact of when Bach says, "Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to see this." Like, "Oh wow, you're walking," means you don't need me anymore.
Yes, when in Dancing Through Life, she says, she's like, "It's because I'm in this chair, isn't it?" And no, it's because you are so beautiful. Like it totally undermines the whole relationship, which was based on like, and it wasn't ever the chair that was the issue, you know, it was just, he was really into Glinda.
Right.
But the chair, like if you're going to remove it in part 2, they should have changed that line in part 1. Cause now you undermine that. Cause then when she is out of the chair and she really does think, you know, even deep down that that's the thing holding it back, and it's not. Again, they just painted themselves into a really weird corner. Majority of the people probably had no idea or cared, but I just kind of giggled because I'm like, see, you tried to solve one problem and you created another.
Yeah.
It's like, what? It wouldn't have been a problem. Like they would have used, you know, some sort of special effects or like not prosthetics, but they would have like lifted her up and made her walk. And who cares? She's an actress. I don't know. But I liked overall her, but then I did feel that her getting smashed by a house and then the girls fight, which does happen in the play.
Yeah.
But it's just really because of the levity of the play. It's like hilarious and funny. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened. And she took her shoes and bye, Dodo.
Yeah.
But like they try to make it more serious where it's like,
yeah.
She just got hit by a house.
Right. And then also when you have Elphaba just like, well, can I at least say goodbye to my sister now? Like it was just kind of like
yes.
I mean, I am not here to judge somebody else's way of mourning and their grief. You know, people do it all differently. But it was a little odd. It was just odd. And the fact that she was still in her chair when she got hit made it even worse of you just killed a girl in a wheelchair. Like, even more so.
If she would have been able to walk, maybe she could have run away.
It just made the whole thing less, it felt different. It, dare I say, hits differently.
Oh,
that was really bad. I'm so sorry.
I think the most successful part of the one, it's always felt really shoehorned in and almost an afterthought, kind of, the Wizard of Oz elements in the play. Because they just don't have a lot of time to dwell on them. But I really liked overall Bach into the Tin Man. I felt that was the best one.
Yeah.
And then Fiyero into the Scarecrow just didn't work so much. Like when he's being beaten right there and it's like you now control the monkeys. They can just fly him away. You don't really have to I don't know. She's terrible at all this magic. She creates so many problems.
Everything she does. And it's like, girlfriend, you really should stop doing good deeds.
Yes. Like, just stay away from that book. Every time she's tried, has there ever been anything that has successfully worked?
I mean, just her sister floating.
Yeah.
Which ends up breaking her heart. Like, so it's, I don't know. Nothing, yeah.
Yeah. That's the problem with this play. Is like, if you sit and you're like, and we're obviously being very nitpicky about certain things, but
of course we have to pad the time, people. We have to pad the time. We too have to pad the time.
It's just, you could really kind of nitpick a lot of things. Yeah, and things that came off in the play as very hilarious and funny, and just like, haha, that's funny. Like, now it's because of the way the movie is set up that you don't find that funny at all, and you need a little more. Oh, this was another thing that I thought with the extra time. I think the big missed opportunity was to expand Dorothy's character. I think Dorothy, I know in the play, like, they don't want to spend a lot of time on her, and obviously, like, this is the final act. We got to wrap this up, guys.
Yeah.
So they don't have a lot of time to really spend much for Dorothy, and they don't want to. You know, she's mostly faceless. She never really appears directly to the audience. But this, I thought it would be really cool if they made her sort of this, I want to say, like, a third female protagonist, antagonist, but then there's Madame Morrible. So the fourth, like, just another element, wrench in the plan that kind of throw things for a loop. I thought would have been really interesting and would have been worth the expansion of the characters, or at the time. Like, it would have made the time a little more worth it to, like, wow, in this version of Wicked, we get this.
I mean, I feel like Miss Morrible, you do expand on her a little bit. You do show that she is actually the puppet master of all of them, and the Wizard of Oz. And so you do see that in reality, she was the one pulling the strings on the wizard, because she does have all the magic, but she doesn't want to be known for that. And so I liked that, because it is often in real life where the real person in charge is not the person that you think is in charge. And it's good to see that. And also it's good to see kind of like there's moments of cat fights in this whole thing where you have the one-on-one between Glinda and Elphaba, which is just kind of funny. But then you also have this other, like, really sinister evil side of Madame Morrible. And yeah, so it's interesting to see the dynamics of how women specifically fight, and how they showed their dominance in these situations. That was interesting.
Yeah.
All in all, I feel like this movie, it was really good where it was really good, and it was a little bit forgettable where it wasn't. And overall, I think I'm just going to give my rating and say it was 4 out of 5 stars, but also a little bit forgettable. So, like, I went into it, I enjoyed it. It was a little long. It was a little kind of roundabout. So that took down. But there were moments, like I said, I was like, I wanted to applaud mid show. And there were moments where I was just, like, blown away by the cinematography, just the colors, Duke, the colors. There's so many moments of this that I just felt like, wow, this was really, really good. And then there was also like, okay, moving on. So it was just kind of that back and forth. But I also felt like there was nothing to dislike about this movie. But it was also not something that I feel like is something I'm going to need to, like, if I weren't talking to you on a podcast about it, I'd be like, yeah, it was good, right? Yeah, okay. Like, I don't know if I would have the need to just dive into each one of these things. And maybe that just means that I am not as hardcore theater loving person as some others. And fine, sure. I disagree, but it's fine. I just feel like it was in the world of movies and film. I felt like there was a lot of great things that I loved, and there were a lot of things that could have been left on the cutting room floor.
What did you rate the first? Do you remember? 4.5?
I think it was around 3.5 to 4.
Oh, so you rated this one potentially higher.
Potentially higher, but also potentially the same. I don't remember
Yeah.
what I did. I just remember coming out of this being like, seeing on, I also see on some of the sites saying on like Rotten Tomatoes how everybody's giving it like an 80% as fresh, and I'm like, that fits. Yeah, like it's not a movie that I'm like, man, top 5 ever, but it's also like I thoroughly enjoyed all of the things that I thoroughly enjoyed.
Okay. So I give this 2.5 stars.
Oh, okay.
Which I gave the other one 3.5. And I think just because I really do love the original cast recording and I love Wicked, that I just had a hard time with this one because I know what works with the original and then obviously with what doesn't work in it. And I think they didn't do either well. Like things that worked, they did fine. Things that didn't work, they didn't really improve that much. And so with this one, as a standalone film, like if you were to go in and watch this would be a rough go.
Not a good one for a standalone.
And so that really not makes it go down a peg. I don't feel like it has a traditional structure. There's no 3 acts to this. There's no rising action because this is like the falling action. This is the climax portion of the film or of the play. And so, they really had a very tough time ahead of them, so I respect that they were able to even do this. And I know that majority of people really do love this and see no problems with it and kind of see it as two parts of one cohesive whole. But that is the problem, is that it's not. And you're supposed to kind of not forget that the first one exists, but if you remember that the first one exists, you're like, oh, well, that one was a lot of fun. That's the one I want to go back and watch.
Yeah.
And so I think just this is a lot lackluster, and that's because it was never meant to be standalone.
Yeah.
If this was tied with the first half, it would be very, very good because you would have the release from the beginning and it would immediately go into this one and then it would wrap up and you would feel satisfied. But with this, it's just the bad parts of it. Well, not the bad parts, but you know what I mean? It's like the lesser, it's like
downers.
the B songs. It's the heavier version of the film, more of the political drama. So, as a result, you gotta go there. So that is my problem. But
I feel like they really should have just made the entire thing 2.5 hours and called it good.
You took my thing. What I think really would have been a bold choice is to make this one long movie.
Yeah.
Sound of Music style, 3.5 to 4 hours with an old school intermission.
Yeah.
Just for kicks and giggles to just really like have the retro vibe, which they're trying to do with the steampunk thing and all this. And I know you wouldn't have made as much money potentially, but I think that would have been so bold and so good and really would have been a satisfying conclusion to this story. Instead of just leaving this one dangling, 100% this one is not going to do as much as the first one.
Yeah.
If you didn't see the first one, you're not going to go see this one.
Yeah.
Right? And then I actually had a few people message me. They're like, I didn't like the first one, so I'm not going to see the second one, But if you all would have just like mashed it together, it allows this heavier, darker side of the story to not weigh you down and then have release all within one sitting. So
yeah, they really should have gone Ben-Hur on us.
It would have been awesome. When's the last time we've seen something like that? And we know with all the re-releases of like the Lord of the Rings extended versions, they do these special releases. Like
people sit through it,
and those are long. People sit through it. People do. I mean, yes, obviously those are the super fans.
Yeah,
but I think because Wicked, just what it is, would have, of all things, would have garnered that much attention and people would have done it.
And I probably would watch it more.
And have the intermission, like go take a potty break. Okay.
For my own self, I would have watched both of them more. Right now, watching Wicked just feels like a chore. Having to go back and rewatch a 2-hour first and a 2-hour second. It feels like a lot. But if they would have like actually just made it the thing, then I feel like I would have been a lot more keen on just sitting through it and be like, no, I am going to sit through this thing. Dang it. I mean, granted, I will sit through 6 hours of Pride and Prejudice. So it's not like I can't, but I feel like this one, it does feel a little bit more like a chore.
So there you have it. I feel like if these would have been one movie, I would have risen the ratings of both. Like they probably would have maybe gotten up to a 4, instead of the 3.5 for the first one. But
I'm just super nice. Like, this is fine. 80%. Great.
This is great because I feel like every episode is like, what's your rating? 4? Oh, me too. And I'm like, every time you it was the same. So I'm glad to see something a little different. But let us know your thoughts about this film. Go to rotoscopers.com/358 and give us your review of Wicked for Good. What did you like? What didn't you like? What worked? What didn't work? And obviously remind us what your review of the first one was. What would you rate it? So yes, good times. I mean, generally, that's the thing. I gave it a 2.5. It was fine. It was a good movie. 2.5 is like smack dab in the middle. So it's not terribly bad, but
you're neutral. You're neutral on it.
Yeah. Kind of neutral. Could have been a lot better. I see.
Could have been a lot worse.
Whoa, doggy. Yes, it could have.
Could have been really bad.
Alrighty, that's all we have for this episode. Until next time, we are the Rotoscopers. So this better work.
Better work.
No backup.
We're in to win it.
Because we are on a PC, which is the worst. No. The film is Glinda. I'm reading something on the Wikipedia page and I'm looking at the wrong part. Go away, you. Oh, Madame Morible. I always say Morible, but that's not her name. It's Morrible.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say about Ariana. Wait, what was I going to say about Ariana? Hold on. That's what I get for just going off. You've been listening to the Animation Addicts Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and be sure to leave us a 5-star review. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you want to help spread the word, be sure to share the podcast with your friends on social media. Just don't forget to tag us at Rotoscopers on Instagram and use the hashtag Animation Addicts. For all the links and full show notes for this episode, go to rotoscopers.com/podcast. Now, if you still can't get enough for your animation fix, be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube and visit rotoscopers.com for more animation news, reviews, and interviews. Thanks for listening.